A Family Decision was one of three pieces of flash fiction that were published by Kitab International recently. Kitab connects South Asian writers with a global audience. A Family Decision. I was getting ready for work when Moeen's wife, Zareen, called. It was supposed to have been a fairly routine procedure, but he had had a massive infarction while under anesthetic. Apparently, he was on a breathing machine, and the doctor was afraid his condition was pretty serious. I called the school to tell them that I wouldn't be coming in because I had a family emergency. Moeen was a first cousin, my mother's brother's son. I had known him as a young boy, and he, along with several siblings, had visited us a couple of times. There were 15 children altogether between the two families, but we thought nothing of sleeping on mattresses on the floor. Because there were mosquitoes about, regardless of the season, each mattress was protected by a mosquito net. It was all very cozy and convivial. I hadn't seen much of Moeen over the years. After the breakup of Pakistan, his entire family moved to Karachi. I had migrated to Canada and had been living in Toronto for some years when I heard that he was living here as well. Our meetings were fairly formal, but we had a few things in common. In particular, an interest in Urdu poetry and singing and playing the harmonium. He had two teenage sons, Arif and Masood. I would often talk to them about the latest Bollywood movies and ask them for recommendations. Now, here he was, lying unconscious in a hospital bed. His face was swollen and hardly recognizable, but strangely peaceful. His legs had turned ominously blue. His chest rose up and down, but it was obvious that he was on life support. The hospital had people from different faiths who were available to come and pray for seriously ill patients. And while we were there, a Muslim cleric came to pray for Moeen and to recite from the Quran. One of the doctors, Dr. Sanders, met with us in a small room. He said that it did not appear that there was much point in keeping Moeen connected to the ventilator. He was, in fact, brain dead. The doctor asked if everyone in his immediate family was present. I was surprised when Zareen said that his daughter was not there and that they were waiting for her. I had not known he had a daughter. I found out later that the mother of the daughter was in Karachi. She had been his first wife, and Moeen was still married to her. The doctor said the family needed to give the go-ahead and they would disconnect the ventilator. If they wished, he would wait till the daughter could also be there. The daughter's name was Sakina. Moeen's Toronto family knew where she lived, but not where she worked, so they would have to wait till she got home from work. One of the two sons went and waited at her apartment. It was after 6 when she returned home and heard the news about her father. Sakina and Arif arrived at the hospital and we were ushered into the little room again. We waited for Dr. Sanders. I looked at this daughter of Moeen's I had not known about. She sat there very quietly, her face devoid of color. Dr. Sanders came in and once again explained that there was no point in keeping Moeen on life support. It only meant that they were prolonging the process of dying. No one said anything for a while. Then Sakina asked very softly, "Is there any hope? Even if there is one chance in a million that he might recover?" Dr. Sanders paused for a long moment. Then he said, "No. There is no chance, not even one chance in a million.